Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Beman Nightfall, the arrows that make deer go nighty night, according to the internet anyway. There's always weird names for arrows, I don't know why, but whatever. I don't know. Marketing ploy. These will make your deer go nighty night. Okay, so we got some pretty cool tips on these things, which are really neat. We've got X-Nocks, 2-inch blazer vanes fletched onto these things. All right, let's go over the specs. Micro diameter carbon construction, 5.5 millimeter, 4.2 millimeter nock, by the way. Straightness is plus or minus 0.003. Oh yeah, they're straight, baby. I spun these suckers. X-Nock installed, 9 grain. Hit inserts included. Deep 6 RPS inserts are available. Arrow sizes, 300, 340, 400, and 500. These are the 500s, and in that same order, 10.7 grain per inch, 9.5, 9.0, and 8.1 grain per inch. The both manufacturer's suggested retail price is $70.99 for a half a dozen. So, a little expensive, but not too shabby. Anyway, so I only got 3 because that's all they had, and that's all the money I had. And this was $40 Canadian out the door, so not too shabby. These are cut at 28.5 inch shaft to shaft, so they will weigh up at 380 grain. Anyway, so we've done some grouping tests. Not the world's best, but they do group. I mean, just they could have been better. And we've done a crony test. And of course, crony test turned out rather interesting. We got a consistent 241, and that means we're just a little bit shy of 50 foot-pounds of energy, which is pretty good. Anyways, off camera, I did some extra testing because I found those nocks were actually quite loose on the serving string. So I tested on my Matthews Mission hammer bow, pretty much about the same thing. The Bear Apprentice bow, on the other hand, perfect, mainly because it's got a really thick serving string. Now, there's not much for nock choices from Easton. There are a few choices on Amazon. Doesn't necessarily mean any of them are going to work, all right? So I did a bit of research into these things, especially with the X-Nock, and, well, there's more than just the X-Nock that has issues from Easton. It's a few other of their alphabetical nock styles. The only known cure for this problem of them knocking really super loose is to have your serving string either changed out completely and thickened up till they fit, or go over top of your current serving string is another option, I guess, and till you get the proper thickness. Now, the Bear Apprentice at least has the proper thickness, and they actually fired quite well, okay? Even though they're a little bit way too long for that bow. That bow only has a 27-inch draw, and I run 27.5-inch shaft to shaft on those, and these are 28. But at least they did a pretty good job grouping compared to what we were getting on our Stinger bow. And the Stinger and the Matthews bow are pretty much about the same for grouping. They're still not suitable for 99% of the bows on the market over the last 100,000 years. Serving strings are too thin, and that's where we found out in the archery forums that X-Nock is not the only problem. There's a few other nocks Easton does as well that are very lousy when it comes to this massive slop. And honestly, I think Easton and every arrow manufacturer needs to be held to a standard whereby that their nocks will knock up properly to every string out there, okay? I mean, that should be the way it is. Standardized serving diameter on everything, standardized nock slot, okay? Anyways, but because it's a 4.2 mil, there's not a lot of choices out there for any alternative possibilities. Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe the other possibilities that are definitely from China are not going to work at all because they're going to be as bad or worse. Who knows? All I know is I'm not wasting the money to find out. It's going to be cheaper for me to just take these back to my guy, chop an inch off, and set them up for my apprentice bow. And at least this way I got 3 arrows I can fire the living snot out of and get my money's worth out of them in the end. And because otherwise right now, I mean, I can't use them properly on the Apprentice, but I definitely can't use them on any of my other bows, period, because the serving strings are all too thin. So yeah, that's X-Nox for you. Anyway, however, this is going to be a kind of an interesting rating for your star rating stuff. I think that taking the nocks out of the equation, these things are definitely, I think, worth somewhere around the neighborhood of about a 4.5 out of 5. Okay, with the nocks included into the equation, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to say we're sitting somewhere around 3. Okay, it's just because the nocks are so fat of a slot on these things, and it is a common problem. You can check the archery forums yourself. I did. And it's not just the X-Nox that are having this issue. It's a few other nocks that Easton has too that have the same problem. And with the only known solution coming up that you have to make your serving string thicker to accommodate this, I mean, that's an expense you shouldn't have to go through just to use a company's arrow, okay, with their nock, right? And because of the lack of the options too on the third party sides, like if we go up to Amazon really quick, indulge me please. So if we look up a 4.2 millimeter nock, now we are going to get some options out here, okay? You can get like bulk packs here. I don't know how many's actually in here without opening up all the ads. But there's a bunch of these different colors of nocks. Well, these are all from the same company, so just pick your color. But do we know if they're going to work or not? Unknown, right? There's a 60 pack here you can buy for 18 bucks. You know, 4.2 millimeter inside diameter, plastic nock for compound recurve bow. But then, you know, we have 8 ratings at 3.5. So we'd have to go through and read and find out what all the baddies are here. And it seems like, well, just right off the top, there's a 1-star for broke immediately. Fits just fine, not a fan. Nope, sharp edges. So sloppy molding. So they're built like garbage. Okay, we got that. That was pretty quick and painless, right? But there's still not a ton of choices. Now, we've even tried lighted nocks on this channel and found sloppiness problems, right? And we can't have a sloppy fitting nock to our string, or we're going to have accuracy issues like crazy. And we could actually end up with pre-launch, okay? So the bow won't get to finish its entire cycle with the string coming forward, and the arrow is already going to be gone. So this could actually cause a partial dry fire in your bow, which may or may not damage your bow, which is another reason why I don't want to fire them too many more times, because I don't know at what point these things are actually leaving my string. And, well, I did guinea pig all 3 bows, but no damage to the bows. But still, it's nerve-wracking working with a nock this freaking loose. You know, especially on a brand new bow like my Matthews. It's like, this is the newest technology, you know, and it sucks with these nocks. It's not the bow, it's not the string, it's the nocks. Nocks are the issue, okay? And many of you should know by now that nocks are always a thing, where some nocks are good, some nocks really suck. I have Bowhunter series arrows here from Easton, and those nocks are horrifying. They are probably just as bad as these things. But anyway, I'll eventually straighten those out. But at least those arrows can use any standard nock I have in my collection. So I'm still playing with different nocks to see if I can get them to fire better on my Apprentice bow, because that's what they're cut for anyways. Eventually I'll find a nock that, you know, is going to work. And besides, I only paid 20 bucks for the half dozen because I got a steal, okay, on that deal. But these, on the other hand, I've got a lot of money tied up into for 3 of them, and they're only usable on 1 bow, so they're going to have to get shortened. I'm not wasting money. I mean, it's stupidity for me to go searching through all these nocks, and, you know, I mean, if you want to do it, go ahead, but I'm hands off on this one. I'm not going to bother. But in my personal opinion, though, I believe that not only Easton, but every arrow manufacturer should be held to a standard of quality when it comes to not only the quality of the materials and the quality of the nocks, but they all should have a standardized slot size that will work with any bow, right? Because you don't need a fat freaking serving on a bow anyways. Although my apprentice has one, we're not sure why. Well, I don't know what owner I am down the road on that thing, but, you know. Anyway, at least it has a string serving that supports these nocks. So it's just that the arrows are a little bit on the long side for 27-inch draw, so, you know. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with these arrows at this point of the game. Now, once I get them shortened to where I need them for the apprentice bow, we will come back, we'll regroup, test a new group with just the apprentice, probably fire, I don't know, 6 or 9 shots through, see what we get for the best possible grouping out of these things, and then we'll crony them on that bow. And right now that bow is set at 40 pounds, so I'm not sure if we're going to leave it at 40, if we're going to go to 50, I have no idea yet. I do know that as far as energy goes, these things are like literally just shy of 50 foot-pounds of energy at 241 feet per second based on 56 pounds of draw weight on my bow. So at 40 pounds, it's definitely going to be less. But are we still going to have enough power to take down a deer? More than likely. Okay. I don't see why not. But I like the arrows, and I like how they fly too, because they fly really well otherwise. You know, I mean, they're straight arrows and they land straight, so that's a big thing. But they just don't do a really good grouping otherwise. You know, Robin Hooding the Fletch was pure dumb luck, but we had to get that fixed, and then we had to fix the other one we blew off on the crony. But at least they're all fixed now, so I just got to shorten them up. But anyway, that's where I'm at with these arrows. So think twice before you purchase these, because you may or may not have a thick enough serving for these nocks. And Easton, I think, only has one other nock that will go into these, but there are some options on Amazon, so just be aware. Because you should not have to, well, you shouldn't even have to actually literally change your serving string on your bow to accommodate Easton's precious little stupid nocks. So you shouldn't have to go through that expense, nor should you have to go through the expense of finding a third-party nock that will work with your current serving string. None of us should have to go through that. That's just not right, y'all. Okay? So take it for what it's worth, but that's where I'm at with these in the current state. So hopefully I've helped you guys. I'm going to be buying more arrows down the road. I'm going to try out some FMJs. I'm going to try out some Easton Access. And maybe whatever else I can find to you know, just try out and see what I think of them and give my experience to you guys on this stuff. So, and you never know, I might find something even better than what I'm using right now for hunting this season that may work even better for the next hunting season. Who knows? But right now, I'm kind of sold and stuck on the Powerflight 400 by 400 grain, and they're working just perfectly fine for me for my target shooting, so I should have no problems with the hunting side of things. And besides, those arrows are cheaper, and at least the nocks knock up properly on any of my bows. And yeah, they're Easton arrows with Easton nocks, go figure. But they're a different kind of nock, and apparently we cannot get replacements, which is stupid. Anyway, see ya.